There was something that we always say. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And you know, it's funny because when you think about creation, you once said to me, oh, I remember that moment. I remember that first moment of creation. I remember all of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And, you know, we have such a really finite idea of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just talk about the chicken and the egg?
I was going to say.
Because really, you know, how did that work?
I don't want to talk about chicken and the egg, and I'll tell you why. Because my children will say to me, Mom, tell me what's going on with this thing, or what's the truth of that? And then when I tell them, they're like, aw. So I'm not telling. Because I don't want to spoil the surprise for people. Find out for yourself.
Okay. But in terms of creation, in terms of what we're doing, one of the charts that you have in your living room,
yeah,
is the laws of love. And I always thought that they were the laws of the universe, expansion and contraction and all the different, but they are the laws of love.
Yeah. The laws balance every time we carry out love, and every time we carry out love, we balance the laws. So it's a relationship with quantum energy. People are studying quantum physics, they're studying energy, but they're not understanding that it's supposed to be love. And that what makes it make sense and behave properly and behave in ways that help is when we interact with it in love. That's when we give energy its true unified purpose. And that's where all things are safe and all things flow as they should, and so on. Manifestation of what we need is balancing the laws, right? What we truly need to meet our needs. Manifesting what we truly need to meet our needs and carry out our purpose, which is always love, it requires all the laws to be balanced. I like to tell people there are a few things that balance all the laws of the universe, aka the laws of love, that human beings do. One is music without words. When we add words in, if they are untruthful, they unbalance the laws. But if we can add in words of truth, then they contribute to the balancing of the laws. And mutual orgasm between two people who love one another. Those two activities balance all the laws of the universe. So does conception. Balances all the laws of the universe. At one time. There are 7 laws of the universe. And it's the way they interact with one another and the range of them, the encompassment of their extremes that makes it seem as though there's so many more. And it is the actual enactment of these laws that form limitlessness. So even though they're called the laws of love or the laws of the universe, when they're enacted fully, they do not limit anything. They allow true limitlessness to occur.
So you want to talk about the laws of the universe?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Got nothing else to do.
Yeah. Well, the laws of the universe are one thing, and then the order in which things were created are another. And so, which would you rather talk about first?
I have to talk about it all at once because it isn't really separated.
Okay, great.
So when people talk about the order in which things are created, what that actually means is like everything was created all at once. It means the order has more to do with evolution. You know, we know that the Earth came into being 4.54 billion years ago, and human beings came into being. The first hominid DNA came into existence about 4.7 million years ago or so. So everything happened at once and then took an order. So the laws are about the order of everything happening at once and then, the laws are about everything happening at once and then sorting itself out to evolve. So the laws are concepts, they're energetic forces that God put in place to make everything as it is now come into being physically out of the energy of the Big Bang that happened all at once. So that's what really the laws are about. They're the way our universe functions in an orderly way in the physical realm, physical world. So gravity, right? It affects bodies, not souls.
So in the evolution of everything, what were the first elements that everything else expanded from?
Vibration.
Vibration. You just need to smooth this part down, and then tell me about vibration. Oh, how attractive.
Is that what I need to do? Really? Because it just keeps happening.
Because you just smacked it and it went flying.
Oh.
Okay, so now we're good.
It's like living hair.
Oh, yeah. That's a mind of its own. So in the beginning, what was the first element?
I like this. In the beginning.
No,
that's good.
Well, let's go to the start of the whole thing, because really we're about to talk about the laws of the universe, and I'd like to start talking about how things formed and what the basis of things are, so that we have sort of more of a deeper understanding. Because I think that there is something about the periodic table that indicates that there's a layering. There's a layering. First there was one thing.
They get weightier, right?
Yes, there was one thing, then there was another, and it has to do with how the gases and how the... So that's really what I'd like to speak about, because I think that informs... It takes us out of thinking about the chair and the table and the refrigerator,
into
the car going by and the tree, and really looking at the fact that we are all made of all of these elements.
Exactly.
Everything around you can be broken down to these elements.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to talk about.
I think you just did.
All right.
It was fabulous.
It
really was. It really was. And the other aspect of that is the fact that, you know, in our original state, we are pure energy, and the energy we are is God, and that energy is love. So the Big Bang is like literally a big burst of love forming into physical matter. Then it begins to evolve into the physical matter, and the very first things that energy moves from being pure energy into vibration. That's the very first sort of like form of physicality. And then it's beyond me to explain how the layers all happen, but things like light and sound and friction and temperature and all those things are deepening layers of energy becoming more tangible, right? Then it moves into gases and all those types of things, and then into, you know, minerals, and then minerals sticking together to be more groups of minerals together, and then planetary bodies and all these types of things. So all of these things are what we are formed out of, and they exist in the vast expanse of the universe. But the laws themselves, the 7 laws, dictate that they also have been contracting into more and more complex layers each time, so that within your body there are processes that look exactly like the processes in outer space. Like a neuron firing looks like energy particles moving through space through gases and light reflecting on them. It's incredible. There are processes that happen in the cells that look like something merging out of the heavens to have a dense body that things start orbiting around. You know, so we are the compacted microcosm of the macrocosm. Everything that exists already in the universe is existing more and more densely in our bodies.
And there's a point to that. The point to that is to honor that and to understand that.
Yes, that it's all one body, and it's all so beautiful. So to honor it, to love it, is the only thing you can do. Right? It's you know, the understanding of this exists in a place beyond cognitive thought. It's just a knowing. It's just it's like you can say these few words, and we both sit there and go, because it's so enormous. There's no more words. Human language hasn't been evolved for very long. It's only what, less than 1.7 million years old. So it's a feeling and a knowing, and just being suffused with this knowing of the enormity of everything that just these few words trigger, that becomes our communication. That's energy.